The Tyrant Arrives. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 1, The Heavenly Throne. Su-Yan was an ordinary social animal in the original world. I had just been laid off by the company, and I got drunk overnight, and when I woke up, I found that I had traveled to another world, in an imperial palace called Yanjing, and he was also the newly enthroned emperor. What did you say? I'm the emperor. Your Majesty, the Queen Mother has passed away, and the late emperor has passed away. You are the eldest son, and you will succeed to the throne according to the rules. Su-Yan looked at the ministers who were kneeling down in the hall, and suddenly smiled. Ha ha ha. You're done, this country, starting today it's going to change. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 2, The Storm of Concubines Election. Since the crossing is a foregone conclusion, and since the emperor is identity, then in the spirit of not being a faint monarch as a tyrant, Su-Yan ordered. 3,000 beauties, be sure to choose a concubine to enter the palace today. Inadequate? The whole territory of the beauty book, according to the face. The chief censor was furious and said, Your Majesty, this is an act that will lead to the destruction of our country. Su-Yan blinked, what I want you to raise is not the country, but the dancing girl. The loyal minister He-Yu's face turned pale. Your Majesty, if you indulge in women, how will the people survive? Su-Yan waved his hand. People? Naturally, they have your heart, and I am responsible for being happy. That night, the imperial garden was lit up, and the concubines were like clouds. Su-Yan was very interested, looked at the sky in the distance and said to himself, if this country can't be dominated by me, then what's the point? Underscore 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 un. Chapter 3, The Beginning of the Tyrant. The next morning at court, the ministers were in a state of outrage, arguing about the neglect of state affairs. Su-Yan sneered, do you think I'm a faint monarch? No, I'm a tyrant. He ordered. Anyone who dares to advise and remonstrate will be punished with 10 strokes of the cane in the court. Local corrupt officials, raiding homes on the same day. A new Jinhusi was established to monitor the wealth, wives, and concubines, and daily words and deeds of all officials. The Manchu dynasty was shocked. Some people secretly plotted to abolish the emperor, and some fled back to the countryside to avoid trouble. But no one noticed that under Su-Yan's repeated crazy orders, the place had actually become clearer than before. The people were confused at first, and then they, hope. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 4, The Princess Turmoil. The powerful neighboring empire sent envoys for marriage, but refused to send women from the royal family and only wanted to send their adopted daughter as an impersonator. Su-Yan was furious, it's bearable, it's unbearable. I ask you, is this a humiliation? The minister replied, Your Majesty, it is a humiliation. Su-Yan shouted, then send troops. For the sake of face, you have to fight. He-Yu advised bitterly, Your Majesty, the two powerful armies are facing each other. If we start a war rashly, it may hurt lives. Su-Yan smiled faintly, I never said I was a good emperor. An army of 100,000 pressed the border, and the powerful empire sued for peace in a hurry, and finally sent the real daughter of the sect, Hwasuan Ran, a veritable first beauty. Su-Yan glanced at her, and his eyes sank, Emperor Ben, maybe. I don't want to start this war anymore. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 5, Tyrant Romance. Hwajin Ran was extremely intelligent. When she first entered the palace, she sang a song asking the water to amaze the whole court, and even the envoys of the enemy country were quietly attracted. But she just said lightly, the minister, I dance only for the emperor. Su-Yan made her a noble concubine for the first time, and she was favored by the harem. She followed her every day and almost stopped the government. The court officials attacked her again, Your Majesty is so obsessed with her, isn't it a disaster? Su-Yan said angrily, if this is a disaster, then I am willing to drown in it. But one night, Hwasuan Ran asked him softly, are you really just a tyrant? I saw you personally build canals for the people, and secretly exempt thousands of households from paying taxes. You're not. Su-Yan did not answer. Just hold her hand tightly. underscore 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 un. Chapter 6 The Emperor's Heart is Like Fire. The secret agent of Jinhusi reported back, the officials in the southern border were plotting a rebellion and colluding with the countries in the West Sea to establish a king of a different surname. The Manchu dynasty was shocked, but Su Yan quietly finished the recital, got up and said, "I'm going to the south myself." Everyone opposed to it in vain. Su Yan led 30,000 elite soldiers, forced his way through the snowfields and valleys, and broke into the Nan Wang's lair in just 1 month, captured the rebels alive, and shocked the 3 armies. On the way back to Beijing, he ordered the entire army to stop among the people and thoroughly investigate the distribution of disaster victims. The people welcomed him in droves, kneeling down and begging the tyrant to never abdicate. Someone is secretly singing, "A tyrant is not violent, but a gracious king, hiding affection with a cold face is affectionate." Underscore 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 un. Chapter 7, A New Chapter of the Empire. 3 years later, Yanjing's tax revenue doubled, taxes were reasonable, civilian trade flourished, and literary style revived. The reputation of the tyrant Su Yan spread throughout the countries, and some people even sent their sons to serve in the court. The flower is died pregnant, and the world congratulates her. Su Yan announced to the 100 officials, "I will not appoint a crown prince. The 3 ministries and 4 provinces will jointly recommend the future CO ruler. The country is not the private property of one family." The whole court was shocked. The madness at the beginning of his ascension to the throne has finally revealed a secret. This emperor never wanted to be an emperor, but he just wanted to give this world a chance to turn over. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 8, The Last Dream. At the age of 40, Su Yan handed over his authority, only keeping a book, a painting, and a wife, and lived in seclusion in the mountains and forests. He said to his daughter every day, "Your mother is the most beautiful woman in the world, and your father and I are the craziest emperors." The daughter asked, "Do you regret it?" He smiled, "Regret what? I have become a legend, and I have returned with a beauty, and even the word tyrant has been engraved in the history of future generations. This life is worth it." Underscore 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 un. Chapter 9, The Return of the Old Emperor. 10 years of calm and calm, the world is rumored that Su Yan has been isolated from the world, but the wind in the middle of the court is getting tighter. The old system of 3 ministries and 4 provinces governing together was a noble one, but powerful officials grew stronger day by day, and factional disputes arose frequently. Officials were divided for profit, and local governments also showed signs of unrest. At this time, a mysterious man in black shuttled around and secretly contacted Su Yan's old department, saying, "Return the government to King Liu and liquidate the traitorous power." On this day, there was a sudden news at Qingyang post station that a snowstorm blocked the road, the people had no food and taxes and labor service were increased. An old man stood with a cane and smiled coldly at the officials. "You even rob the people of their jobs, how can you be embarrassed to call yourself a CO ruler?" The old man turned out to be Su Yan. The imperial court was shaken, and the world was stormy again. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 10 The Emperor's Heart continues. Su Yan returned to Beijing not to seize the throne, but for a political question. He posted a notice in front of the Dali Temple, directly accusing the then Prime Minister Yu Zhenjiu of corruption and abuse of power, and gave detailed evidence, shocking the people. There was a saying in the court, "If the tyrant is no longer there, who dares to make the powerful minister bow his head?" Su Yan no longer had military power at this time, but he used the voice of the people as a sword to break the foundation of the Prime Minister's party. For a while, the streets and alleys were full of rumors that the old emperor is back. Hua Suanran also came forward to help her husband, and set up a council in the palace to report corruption by civilians, and all the evidence was correct, it could be directly presented to the court. This world has never belonged to anyone, but to the people. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 11, The King and the People. Despite the violent backlash in the DPRK in China, the people's hearts have tilted towards the old emperor. The students of the village school wrote a poem, 10 Years of Qingming Starts from the King,
who endures the palace wall to see the fox. Su Yan set up a lecture hall on the bank of Luoshui, where he met with civilians every day to present their grievances and talk with students from various counties. Hua Jinran accompanies him every day. She was once charming because of a dance, but now she makes decisions based on a word. And their daughter, Su Chao, is already in her prime, with excellent intelligence and steady manners, and is known as Princess Qingfeng. An old minister secretly wrote, "May your majesty return to the throne, revive the great government, and bless Yanjing." After reading it, Su Yan sighed, "It was the will of heaven that I was able to come once back then. Now, let the people choose for themselves." Underscore 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 un. Chapter 12, The Last Choice. 3 months later, the country welcomed the first joint general election jointly discussed by court officials, common people, and scholars. Zaifu Yuchenjai who tried to buy off the counties, but was designed by Hua Yi to rebel against the army, all the family property was confiscated, and Ji Yiju was exiled. There is no one who can be an enemy in the DPRK in China. But Su Yan still insisted on resigning from the throne. What I should have done was not to sit on it again. It's that whoever sits on it after that can't abuse it again. At the last moment, everyone voted overwhelmingly to elect Su Chao as the new king. On the day she ascended the throne, she wore plain clothes, bowed 3 times and bowed 9 times, and bowed deeply to the people. What my father did was to open the country, and what I did was to defend the country. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 13, The End of the Tyrant. Su Yan can finally unload everything. He returned to the old mountain villa accompanied by Hua Bern, planted flowers to make tea, listened to the rain and read books. Someone asked him what regrets he had in this life. He laughed and said, "The only regret is that the wine pond meat forest built back then was never used in the end." Hua Suanran glanced faintly, "You use the soup pond garden I made, who still has a rare wine pond meat forest." He laughed. In the winter of that year, Su Yan closed his eyes in the snow, holding a brocade bag embroidered by Hua Yi dyeing in his hand, which read, "You may not be a tyrant, nor may you be a king, but you are the most trustworthy person in my life." Underscore 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 un. Postscript: The breeze is still there. Su Chao ascended the throne for 10 years, reorganized the government, implemented the common people's education system, opened the western region's trade, and pushed Yanjing's national strength to a new peak. But she never called herself emperor. She said to the Museum of Culture and History, "My father's name is Su Yan, and he is the last tyrant in the hearts of the people. If I were also a king, I would have dishonored the title." So, the world called her the Qingfeng Emperor, a generation of Ming Jun. Every spring, the people will still offer flowers in front of Su Yan's former residence, and the children are in awe of him. Because he is the one who once shouted that I should not be a good emperor, but that I should be a tyrant of men. But he also used that madness in exchange for the years when the people would never be crazy again.